Hi, everybody. Well, hey, there's a baby. Welcome to OUYA Dev Support Office Hours. It is Monday, June the 16th. It is the June 16th edition.
There's this huge battery
Can we
right
do some
over
of
here.
this? Day of OUYA Dev Support Office Hours. Joining me from all over the world is a bunch of great people, including a baby. Hello. Wow. My name is Bob. That's Alex. Which way do you want to go? Silly. And then Matt is in the back doing actual serious things.
Back things.
In the
Matt
back.
in the back.
And then live via the internet is James from RGCD.
Hi. Yeah, I'm from the UK. I'm in Exeter in Devon.
Excellent. He's developing some games and doing some awesome stuff, and so we're going to talk to him in a second. And then from a bunker somewhere near Culver City, Mr. Jared Yeager. Und baby.
Baby.
Don't be shy, baby. Introduce yourself. Yes, excellent. Also, live from the internet is Mr. Matt Kahn.
Hello!
Cool branding, dude.
Thank you.
And then Mr. Tim Groutman from somewhere in Seattle area.
Yep. Hey. Good to see you.
Joining us live in a minute also is Kelly Santiago, who is
In a pet store?
she's there's birds wherever she is we can hear, and she's working on getting her camera working. So until then, I would like to jump right into it. And I didn't even ask you if you had anything ready, but let's see if Alex
I thought of it ahead of time this time.
has an excellent submission tip in a series that we like to call Derp with Doherty.
Yes. So if you are a new developer, you will have to fill this information out. But if you have already created your developer account prior to about a month ago, there's now a section in your developer profile with a description. And if you fill that out, it will create a developer page for you on console so people can check out information about your company or yourself. And they can see a list of all the other games that you have on the platform. It's super helpful. So just log in to devs.ouya.tv and go to your developer profile, and you'll just see it's kind of outlined in gray, and it says description. This will create a developer details page for you, and just go ahead and fill it out. It's just one field, so pretty easy.
What if you're a developer and you have multiple games, though? Does that mean...
No, it'll apply to all your games.
So you can see all the games there.
Yes.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Alex.
Yep.
All
Alright, I'm out. I'll stay.
And then we like to transition to Mr. Tim Groutman for a series that we like to call Grok with Groutman.
All right. Well, I guess this week I'll try to crack you guys up. So I'm going to share my screen. I've got a couple of things to show you. I was thinking of showing you some audio tools. So we'll see if it works. All right. Tell me what you see, though. All right. You should see Audacity. Okay, so I use Audacity a lot for doing sound effects, or at least placeholder sound effects. So I'll just show you my process really quick for making sound effects, because there was like 3 ones I definitely wanted to record. So, all right, so you got this record button. Your team has the flag. You dropped the flag. Your team dropped the flag. Your team recovered the flag. Okay, and then you hit stop. And then I go through and highlight an area where I wasn't talking. And this eliminates the noise. Like if you have a noisy computer fan or something and you want to remove that, go to noise removal and you get the noise profile for that section. All right, then I highlight the whole thing, and that's with Control A, or you can select with the mouse. Then Effect and Noise Removal, and then you just hit OK. And now all the noise is removed, and now I just select the words that I'm interested in. So you just highlight, and then with the spacebar you hit spacebar. Okay, so you hit the spacebar, it plays it. It's going through my headset, so you can't hear it. But that sounds good to me. And then I go to Effect and Amplify, And that makes it so your sounds are loud enough, because this would probably be a 2D sound. And I want it maximum volume. And then the last step, I go to File, Export Selection, and that exports just that part of the sound. And this would be sound flag, and I call it a WAV file, save it, okay. And now I've got a WAV file that's ready for my game, whether I'm using Unity or Android or any of those things. So that's my process for adding sounds. They all sound epic just like that, and there'll be no noise in it, and it will have the background noise filtered. All right.
Awesome.
Now I've got stuff that will crack you up. Now, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So we are switching to. There we go. This is Mixamo Fuse. So if you want to make 3D models that are animated for your game, okay, that you can do the animations and you want to customize how they look, there's this new Mixamo Fuse thing. It's in the Unity Asset Store, or you can get it directly through Mixamo. And it lets you assemble people. So I'm going to start with a skinny guy, and I can click on his head, and that will add the head. All right. Now here's the guy, and wherever I hover my mouse, it's going to alter the face. So like I can click and drag it around, and kind of like if you've played any game, RPGs or whatever, where you customize your character, you can really go to town and customize how it looks, but it doesn't stop there. So if I go to customize, it's got this randomize button, and you can just randomize. If I go to the head section here, I can randomize how the head looks if I want unique looking models. Okay, which is kind of cool, but I'm going to reset that, and now I'm going to do some funny stuff. So if you click on face, and we'll just look at the face a little bit, you have this expression slider thing where you can make them angry. You can do that epic, awkward look. And cocky smile, make them look confused, because you definitely need that confused look sometimes. Goofy, make them super happy. Okay, so, and then you can affect the eyes too. So you can make them cross-eyed, or they've got the walled-eyed slider.
That is cool.
You can open their mouth. Oh my God!
Awesome.
And you can adjust how far down their lips are, how high their lips are. Pretty cool stuff. And then, of course, when you're doing these sliders, you can still customize it and click on it and make him look super cool. Yes. But he's only got that look for what I'm going to do to him next. Now, we go back to assemble, and you can customize the body. So we're going to make him a skinny dude. Okay, that's a skinny. I said skinny, but whatever. Give him some legs. Okay, give him some arms. Okay, and then now you can, again, customize all the different sections to really get those beats going. Okay, so like you can
Tim.
You can grow the legs, and then when it comes to the rigging part, you want to keep the legs separated, and that's part of the customization.
Awesome.
You can even customize like.
This is so intimate. So Tim, this is Mixamo?
Yeah, this is Mixamo Fuse. Okay, so once you're happy with the character, and I think this guy looks awesome.
Yeah, this is.
Now we can go again to the customized flag, and for rigging it helps if you go to the legs, and you make sure that the legs wide slider is all the way up. So typically, right now he's in what they call a T pose. The A is when your arms are at 45 degrees. This is the T pose. and this helps with the rigging part. So I'm going to leave him like this, and I'm going to get some clothes on him. So if I go to clothing, there's a lot of things where we can give him a top. And he needs some, well, let's, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
My internet went down for 1 minute, and this is what I see.
Okay, and then you can give him some bottoms. Awesome. So, like, even though I've clothed them, I can still go back and customize. Click on his head, go back to face. I can reset, randomize everything. Okay. And the clothes still stay where they're supposed to stay, which is pretty cool. And then you've got some texturing options where if we zoom in on the face, okay, it's got this age slider where you can adjust and make them super old.
Ugh.
And now, yeah, he's looking good. All right, and then the next step, you hit this animate button here, and then we can make him jump around. So I'm going to log in really quick.
That is one handsome dude.
Okay, so then it sends your model over to the Mixamo website, and this part can actually take a few minutes. So I can show you this last part in a little bit. Once it's on the site, then you get this auto rig thing where you specify like where his hands are, where his knees are, where his head is, and then through magic, because he came out of the tool and he's kind of posed the right way, I'll be able to apply any animation we want to him. So we can make him do the Gundam dance, or we can make him run around. We can give him a sword. All kinds of animations that we can blend in here with motion capture stuff. So I'll save that for later because this process can take a little bit. Okay, actually, it's done. Okay, so now he's when I hit that yellow button, it brought it into the Mixamo website, and then now we'll specify where his chin is, specify his wrists. I should have turned on symmetry. Here we go.
Oh, this is awesome.
Okay, so this is just part of the rigging process. He's not actually in the T-pose, the leg spread, which could be a problem later. Okay, we'll see. He's just going to be skinned weird. And I don't know, probably there.
His chakra.
Okay.
Okay.
So then you hit the preview button. This part takes a couple minutes. I wonder why he lost his... Oh, you know what? He lost it because I hit that random button. I'm going to have to reassemble him. Okay, so if I go to Customize, and on the legs, you want to
Nice
specify the legs as wide so that it's easier to rig. Okay, so then just upload. But that's okay. This other page will, wherever he went. Okay. I'm going to close that one and have the new thing open. All right, so in a couple minutes, when this is still thinking about things, I'll show you him running around. So I'm just waiting for their auto rigging process to finish.
Okay, while that's waiting, can I ask you like how much something like this is?
The Mixamo tool itself is on the Unity Asset Store, and for Fuse. So Unity 3D.
And we'll link to this after.
Yep. I'll put it in the show notes. So it's one of the featured tools in the Asset Store. Right here, Fuse. So right now it's on sale for $44.99.
So Mixamo is a part of Fuse?
Mixamo is the company.
Oh, okay.
And they make this product called Fuse. So it lets you animate the stuff. And at any point, I can go from Fuse, and I can just say File, Export, and I can export an OBJ model which you can bring into Blender or any modeling tool. You can also import other characters and clothing.
Can you go back to that
LBG.
that website, the Unity plugin page?
Sure.
Because that banner image is hilarious.
This one? Yeah, these clothes are actually
How
in
many
there.
games have? Oh, she's made some bad life choices.
Okay, here we go. Now that he's in the A pose here, or the T pose, I'm gonna try it again. So you set it first chin. Make sure you turn on symmetry, wrists, elbows.
So does this run independently of Unity?
Yeah, this is independent, so this will work for any game engine.
Wow.
Okay, and I'm just gonna preview them. It's already spinning around. It's all 3D-fies. Okay, so this part can take like a couple minutes. And assuming it finds all the parts, it will does a little proximity checking for the auto rig script. So this part is actually running on their website. So the auto rigging happens on their website, and then you can apply a ton of animations.
Oh, so and I don't think that I got an answer from you. Like, how do they monetize this sort of thing? Do they like pay you per like asset you generate? Like, or I mean,
Right,
you pay them.
So that part changes every once in a while, but it's based on they have free content, so you can download the base rigs and then adjust those models, or you pay per model.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have animation packs, so they can each model individually can be anywhere from like $15 to $150, depending on the quality.
Wow. And then you can do the animation in this as well.
Yeah. So once it's animated and in the T-pose, once the rig is set up, then I can bring it into Unity. Oh, it's doing it.
Yeah.
There he is.
There he is.
And we can make him jump around. And it was a successful rig because I kept the legs apart when I rigged them. There we go. So you can make as many animated characters as you want, all customized and looking super awesome. All right, so your next step is once it's in here, now I can apply some animations to it. So I hit finish, I can apply animation or just download right from there. And then they sell all these different packs for like first-person shooters or running around, locomotion, shooting guns, here we go, or the Gundam style. So we just click on any animation we want, and it's going to apply it to our rig, and then we just can download it right into Unity. And then it feeds right into Mechanim in Unity, so you can set up a state machine, and it's really easy to control in your game.
Is there a way to like do your own custom animations in this app, or would you use something else?
I'm working on figuring that part out, but yeah, so I take the rigged FBX and then I bring it into Modo, and then I use Animation Character Studio, transfer the rig to that rig, and then I can customize and pose it. I can show you that another day probably, because that's pretty involved.
Okay.
But yeah, and then it's really easy to pose.
That's a great.
I guess if I had one open, let's see. I was working on. Oh, okay. My flag, my awesome flag. Hold on.
Look at that.
Close. All right. So if I go into this kit I called Ty. Here we go. I set it to texture, and I click on the character. So this is a rig setup. I don't know why it's in wireframe. Let's see, layout or animate. Here we go. Okay, so here's my little kid, and I've got him rigged up with Animation Character Studio, and there's these locators already here. and I brought this in right from Mixamo, and I can pose them and rig them and create animations for games right in here, or my own Peter Pan game. So there's this whole animation and rigging is a huge topic. So I've only cracked the surface, but
Sure.
he's got the auto rig from Mixamo in here, and then I transferred that to Moto, and I can adjust. Okay, so there's all these locators down here, and I can adjust his feet position to put whatever pose I want, and the locators are already set up with constraints. So you can pose them in realistic ways, then you set keyframes, and then you can do the animation that you're going for.
Awesome, man. So I mean, so that's a great place to pause, I think, for now. And
Yeah.
That's
That's all I can say about that. I'm done. That's
But you'll probably keep exploring too. And if people run into snags, can they email you, Tim?
Yeah, totally.
That's T Groutman at OUYA TV.
If you want to show us your workflow or whatever, that would be good too.
Yeah. Awesome. That was really cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Maybe we could take a couple questions and then we'll say hi to our guests who are visiting us today. Dan asked first, so I'll click on Dan. We're interested in baking OUYA Everywhere into our new project. Where are you right now with OUYA Everywhere, and do you have any examples of someone using OE right now? Yes. So we wait. That's a couple questions. So we just put out a developer newsletter that's linked to the new ODK, right? And that has some changes in it that are for OUYA Everywhere. That's part of that answer. Do we have any public examples yet?
Yeah. Okay. So I wrote documentation for it. So if you're using Java, if you're using Monogame, if you're using Unity, I wrote up docs for that, and then I included samples for a virtual controller. So the new OUYA Everywhere for there's a virtual controller that highlights and moves around when you click buttons. And then there's some games that are using it because we had developers help us like make sure it works for their game and stuff. So there's like Amazing Frog, it's working okay for Gaz, and yeah. So there's more. The Chess 2 guy, and as they find stuff, they let me know through the forums or whatever, and we've been working out whatever kinks. So
Yeah.
So go and try it.
And it's also when you submit your game to OUYA, you'll see a little checkbox for Mojo, which will basically, if you've got your OUYA Everywhere stuff all in order, it will release one that is all set up and ready to go. So don't check it unless you have implemented the new code. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Cool. So the best place to start would be go to devs.ouya.tv, and then it's under, where do we have our OUYA Everywhere documentation, Mr.
Yeah,
Groutman?
so developer.ouya.tv, and then click on the docs, and then there's OUYA Everywhere right near the top. So there's the support for the transcripts for these shows, and then there's the OUYA Everywhere docs right there on that same nav.
Awesome. And then do you know much about, like, is it easy to answer something like difficulty level, making that change to your game? Or is it sort of like case by case?
Yeah, I mean, I slightly changed the API, but it's pretty similar to the existing Unity input API, so it's not too big of a change.
Cool. Cool, man.
And the reason why you do that is, you know, once you're on OUYA Everywhere input, you build your game, and then as we add support for new controllers, you don't have to rebuild your game. It's just going to support new stuff. And I recently added like PlayStation 4 controller support, so you just get that automatically.
Awesome. Were you saying something, James? Was that James?
Yeah, I was just going to say there's this guy called Jonathan who hasn't got the link to join the Hangouts. So
I thought Alex
send that to him.
John,
Who's the Trash Mania guy?
I think Alex emailed it.
I emailed it to him.
Is it the join video link? Yeah. Check your email, Jonathan. I know that some people have built portable versions of the OUYA. Would it be possible for you guys to host a competition for portable OUYA designs and possibly modify the best one and sell a portable version of the OUYA? This guy is thinking.
No.
Who said no? Was that Matt Kahn?
Yes.
Matt Kahn
I'll answer for Ouya. No. Next.
Oh, Matt Kahn. I think it'd be cool to host a competition though, and have a I mean, we sort of made it so that you can hack with it, and we haven't really specifically nurtured that as much.
Have an Ouya game in general.
That's true. We will look into that. That's a cool idea.
I definitely want to do the one where you can get your dashboard, because that's I need one of those.
Oh, for your car?
Yeah, and I also want to get. I saw on eBay, you can get those arcade coin-ops for like $100, like an old busted one. Rip out the guts, stick a OUYA in there, hook up the controllers to your OUYA, and you can have your own arcade cabinet that play and throw it into a pizza place.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And you're playing Gravy.
Yeah.
All day. Crazer.
Ouya should buy out an old
Buy what?
You guys should buy a pizza place, and then just so that you can show off your arcade machine.
OUYA Pizza.
Ouya in it.
Brilliant. Oh, Jonathan made it. Yay. As far as porting a Java game over to the OUYA, is there anything, rendering in particular, that would have to be changed to fit the OUYA, aside from controls, of course?
Okay, so Java's the engine. Rendering in particular. I mean, if you're doing Java, you already have an OpenGL surface. It's probably going to work the same, but you just have to try and make sure. I mean, probably optimizing for mobile, like you usually do, so maybe customizing your shaders, lowering your poly count, staying within like your 50,000 polygon budget, and then adding, always add performance counters so you know what's going on and how long rendering is taking. So you can find your bottlenecks and fix it. So
it's all about fill rate.
Yeah, careful with your fill rate.
Yeah. Cool. Well, so we can take a break from questions and say hi to our guests who have visited. I would like to first check out James.
Hi.
What's up, man? James, could you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you're working on?
Yeah, my name is James. I'm 35 years old. I'm based in the UK. I wasn't a Kickstarter backer. I pre-ordered, so I kind of missed the boat on the first wave. But yeah, I've kind of been following OUYA for a while, and got together with a friend, and we just decided to have a go making a game for it. So that's what we've been doing for the last 5 weeks.
Can we hear about the game yet, or is it still a secret?
Oh no, it's I've been tweeting stuff about it. It's a game called Rocks Extended Play. It's a Rocks itself was actually a game that I programmed with some demo scene friends for the Atari ST back in 2009, I think. And it's a really simple game, so we just thought that'd be a good warm-up project for myself and Jamie, the guy I'm working with, to develop. Oh, and it's on the screen now, and it's running a very, very low frame rate. But yeah, it's basically like a very simple kind of arcade avoid 'em up with we've added some other mechanics in there, so it's a little bit of a shoot 'em up as well, and you get points for flying dangerously. So if you're flying fast, there's a score multiplier for that, and if you're grinding the sides of rocks or bullets, you get extra points for that as well. But it's just a simple little project. We've been working on it for just under 5 weeks, and we're gonna hopefully release it on OUYA in the near future, and it will be completely free. There's no ads, it's no in-app purchases, it's just completely free.
That's awesome. And so you specifically are sort of passionate about retro style or retro gaming, right?
Yeah, well, I'm a big fan of quality pixel art. The guy who did all the art for this game, well, most of it, he's another UK-based developer. His company's called TikiPod, and he did the graphics for Stealth Bastard and well, I think that's called Stealth Incorporated on PlayStation, I think, and Aqua Kitty and Rock Boschers and stuff like that. So he's quite a big name, and we were just lucky to get him involved, really.
That's awesome.
So it does look really, really nice, the game itself, I think. But it's just a shame it runs so slowly in Google Hangouts, really.
Yeah, this is not frame rate is subject to change in real life, eh?
Yeah, it'll probably be actually faster in the final recording. It's just that it's transmitting to you over to the UK. So.
Right, okay. But it's I mean it's a simple game. You avoid the rocks, you shoot or avoid the bad guys. We've been working on a multiplayer mode. Well, there's actually 7 multiplayer modes, but they're kind of all objective based. So you can play with 1 to 4 players, and there'll be like a mission at the beginning. It'll tell you to collect so many spacemen or kill so many of a certain type of enemy and things like that. So it's quite basic, but it works really well. And yeah, we were just quite surprised because we had a lot of complaints about Game Maker Studio and people saying that it wouldn't run very well on OUYA. But we've had like a solid 60 frames per second with this, and we've got shaders and all sorts in it. So yeah, it works really well. We're really pleased with the performance of OUYA. And when we have had problems, we've just kind of worked around them and had to optimize our programming, and that's been really good fun as well. I'll totally recommend that if you're using Game Maker, that you should have a go trying to port your stuff over to OUYA.
Ah, that's awesome, man. I was gonna ask, yeah. So you did it in Game Maker. Are there any sort of lessons learned with doing something like this on OUYA that you could share?
Yeah, there's something actually that your recent update broke, I think. The game itself is it's like an interactive EP, like a record or a mini album. And we originally had on the OUYA pad, it was still working. We were using the bumper buttons to switch music track, but we've only got a couple of these. So we've been using the wired Xbox 360 controller, and for some reason the bumper buttons don't work in Game Maker anymore, and we don't know why. But it was working until the recent update, and now it doesn't. But to be honest, it's not that much of a problem because these don't work so well with Game Maker anyway, because even though we've created our own code for identifying all the controllers, whenever there's an Xbox 360 controller plugged in, a wired one, it automatically thinks it's all the same one. So we've had like 4 controllers and they're all doing exactly the same thing.
Any
I don't know
idea?
if that's a known issue or.
Yeah, that's because you want to connect your Bluetooth controllers first and then plug in the USB, because that USB receiver or whatever takes up a bunch of slots.
Right.
Like,
Okay. Well,
So-
I don't know. We can work it out, but in the end, if we can work out what we've done wrong there, we'll try and fix it. But we've managed to get 4 controllers of different types all working with it, but just not multiple types of the Xbox one. It's the Xbox one in particular. I think it might be a known issue with Game Maker, not necessarily OUYA. I think it might be an Android export issue.
Yeah, I need to work with those guys, and if they use our OUYA Everywhere input, it basically Game Maker would see every controller as if it was a OUYA controller, and then you'd get all of them, and you wouldn't have to worry about all those workarounds.
Right. Yeah, because the guy I work with, Jamie, he's like, basically the way we work as a team is I just chuck ideas on the screen really badly, and then he goes through a process of doing it all properly. He's like a proper programmer, and I'm just someone who messes around. But we had to build our own framework from the ground up, sending out sort of IDs to every single controller that was connected. So when you're playing, you can play a multiplayer game. One player can back out, and then you can unplug the controller and put another one in, and then it will recognise that as a valid input. Whereas the Game Maker kind of default code doesn't really allow you to do that. So,
Yeah,
but I
that's
think
another thing.
I'll talk to Jamie and see what he says. I mean, hopefully we'll be able to tidy up our source code and release it so people can see exactly how we've done everything.
That's the thing, part of the OUYA Everywhere input. So every controller has a player number, so if it disconnects and reconnects, it'll still have the same player number. So that should fix both issues.
So the important thing for us, Tim, would be for you and me to get a hold of somebody at Yo-Yo Games for.
Yeah, I'm already in contact with them. They have a forum thread I can post in. So.
That's awesome. James, it's Dan, is asking if you would get in touch with him because he's in the UK as well.
Hey.
Okay.
Developer-related question.
About anything in particular, or just to say hi?
He probably has some developer UK-centric questions. Dan, follow-up questions if you have them, so we know. Whatever happened in Walking Dead. Still working on it. Stay tuned. People are curious what it takes to get funding. Or maybe anything specific person they need to talk to. We're still. Hey, do you want to answer that, Jared? Or are you busy? Jared's probably busy. Or Kelly.
I can't at the moment. If Kelly's still on, she can. I'm trying to juggle some duties. If I'm happy to, anyone who wants to email me though about it can definitely email me.
Well, that's a good place to start. So you can email any one of us. You can email all of us at officehours@ouya.tv. Generally, funding of projects on OUYA, you need to have started development, so you want to submit with some prototype, or at least if it's not a standalone playable, meaning you can't send it to us and be confident that it will work, show a gameplay, like record yourself playing it. The exception would be if you have developed a number of games before and you want to pitch a concept. Then you just want to make sure to also send us like a reference to your portfolio, previous projects you pitched. So you at least want to have some kind of, generally you want to have something in progress though, so we can get an idea of the project that you're working on. That sounded pretty...
Oh, you cut out on the last bit. Are you still there?
Goals are for the project. The more information you can send us up front on your budget and what you're spending that budget on, then that kind of speeds along the process quite a bit.
Awesome. Done. That was iKillSwitch, and he was a member of PS Forum, online your forum. And they're cool. Is it possible to see details on the rating of your game in the dev portal, like when, or when stars were given at what time? Oh, this would be a good math question.
That would be a good math. Let me see if I can find it.
Yep, he's here.
Did you have to delete it? Oh, yeah, no, you're about to get lunch.
He did. He went to get Taco Bell.
Let's see. I'll go poke around and see if I can.
Yeah, poke around in the analytics as a developer, and then, and then I think Alex is doing some amount of inspectigating. So we'll get back to you, Johnny. Will developers get specs for OUYA 2 in order to begin development for the new system? How long are we looking at till we have to worry about the OUYA 2 release? That's a good question, and yeah, totally. We'll provide information as soon as it's providable. But I think it's just like if you want to stay up to date, I think a good, hey, there he is. A good,
oh no!
A good practice would be to like keep in touch with us and like keep following stuff like this, because like Tim and everybody else has been working really hard on OUYA Everywhere integration, and that's sort of like, you know, another step towards the future of things. So it'd just be good to generally stay up to date on like the latest ODK and stuff like that, because that's really where that would be the root of things.
The crux.
The crux. Do you want to read?
Yeah. Is there a good way for developers to find out what a game was rated and when it was rated that way in terms of stars? Like, I got a bunch of 3-star ratings, and then I patch my game and they start becoming at 5 stars.
Nope.
Or whatever.
There is no good way to do that right now, but that is an excellent, excellent feature. So we'll put that in the request bucket, and it'll be something that will hopefully get worked on at some point in time. Cool. Excellent suggestion.
Cool. Dan saying it wasn't a weirdo request. Working on a lot of stuff. As I assume, he probably had some dev-related questions for you, James.
Yeah, it's okay. I've added him on Google Circles, so you can get in touch with me through that.
Hey.
Shut up. Ian is mainly a hardware guy. Been wanting to develop for OUYA. What is, in your opinion, the easiest language to begin developing in? Oh, is that the question of the ages? And I think that it's...
You have to select it.
Oh, I didn't select it. Crud. So this is an interesting question because different people say different things. For example, Tim Groutman would say...
I guess the easiest would probably be C#. Don't get stuck in the JavaScript hole.
That's not what I thought you would say.
Well, I mean, the easiest, the fastest to develop in, I think, is probably C#, followed by Java, and some of the harder ones are going to be like C++. So, yeah.
Cool. Does anyone want to argue with Tim at all? Debate?
You can just say what your favorite language is. I mean,
What are middleware tools you would recommend? I mean, I think that's always the debate too, like how much you would be using a visual interface in between you and the language, right? So like
Right.
Scratch is really easy to use. GameMaker, Unity, these things that like don't involve you having to learn super in-depth, super in-depth knowledge of C#, but at a certain point you may want to.
I suppose that would be the easiest one. So, like, visual scripting engines, you don't have to know the language at all. So, you know, there's tools like Playmaker, like you said, Scratch, and some other, like even GameMaker, you don't have to write any code. It's all action-based. But yeah, I was more answering like if you had to write script, like which language would you use? So, C#, Java, then C++, and then JavaScript.
Awesome. So everything. How violent, profane, / sexual could a submission to the OUYA store be before facing censorship or rejection? Where's the line drawn? Matt's raising his hand.
Hi, I need to run. I'm going to tag in JJ. But I just wanted to say that if you're a developer looking to develop for the OUYA gave us this beautiful space at E3, and they allowed us to have this wonderful, awesome experience. And so OUYA really does support their devs, and OUYA is a great spot. So, you know, it's legit. It's not just marketing BS. They are real. So, thank you, OUYA.
I was just trying to look up the page on the developer portal that has what the submission guidelines are.
Yeah.
But my login is failing.
Yeah, basically it comes down to the biggest thing would be something like hate-related stuff. But for the most part, we'll let whatever through as long as the rating's appropriate, unless it's
Like age rating.
Yeah. So we've got like everyone 9 plus,
which is
12
also
plus.
right. That information on how to go about rating your game or like what to expect is also on the developer portal. And just to be clear, because you kind of clipped out a little bit, but what Alex was saying is yeah. My understanding too is that the line is drawn at hate content or content that promotes negative behaviors.
Yeah.
So a depiction of a risky behavior is different than a game that might encourage risky behavior to be taken, right? So that's kind of where the line's drawn for us.
We follow SCOTUS and a lot of amendment debate.
Get involved with, get into a conversation early. If there's like any question on it, you know, like shoot Alex or Bob an email and like find out if it is going to be a problem before you get too far down the hole.
And then push it to the limit.
Yeah.
And also, if you get in touch with me and you have like potentially whatever inappropriate material,
Alex wants to see it first.
I do want to see it first. But also, I work with our review team, so I can let them know ahead of time. Hey, this game's coming along, and we've already had a conversation about it, and we've decided it's passable, and it's going to be an okay thing, and then they won't freak out. So
Cool. I was gonna say, hey Matt, do you want to plug? But now it's JJ. Hey JJ.
Speaking of,
Hey, there they are. Hey,
Get out of the way, JJ!
Oh wait, I have another question from Twitter.
Okay, bye.
Well, just a second. With all the changes to each, is there an updated workflow from Construct 2 to OUYA? I don't know what Construct.
Okay, so Construct 2 is one of those visual scripting engines or whatever, but you can export to HTML5, and I've been working with this guy, Caleb. I should probably send him a link to the Hangout if we're talking about this. Swept up by... well, anyways, I've been working with this guy, and we've been able to wrap the Construct 2 HTML output within Chromium, which gives you accelerated web view, and we've got like sound working and controller support in there, and it's working fine. So I've written like this temporary document that I'm going to publish online, and then it'll have a step-by-step of what to follow to get your game published. So yeah, so look forward to that coming up soon.
Awesome.
And yeah, this Caleb guy is helping me flesh out like Construct 2 adding support for in-app purchases and that kind of thing, because it's going to require that you use the AJAX callbacks in Construct 2. So we're figuring out how to make that work.
Awesome. So we'll just go in order of guests who came in. JJ, I know that you were at E3 demoing Read Only Memories, which is your game. Yes. You're working on it as a free the games fun game, and you will be launching on OUYA and other things. But I was going to ask, do you know of anything else that's upcoming where people are at an event talking about games? That's a loaded question. I'm tossing it to you. Where's Matt? No, I'm just kidding. There's something July 11th through the 13th.
That's right. Yes. X coming in July on the 11th through the 13th over in San Francisco, and that's our LGBT and queer gaming convention. That'll be over at the Intercontinental Hotel. Sweet. In downtown. The beautiful, gigantic, massive colossus Intercontinental San Francisco Hotel.
So there's gaming stuff, there's, I know that Matt said there's professional wrestlers there.
We've got professional wrestler Darren Young from WWE, and we have 2K, Ubisoft, EA, OUYA, of course, showing off over there. Yeah, it'll be fun.
Cool. And then Jonathan, you came on a little bit later. I was going to say hi, and if you wanted to say, what are you? Trash Mania. Trash Mania. Hello.
It's a robot.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Can you?
He's got limited bandwidth.
Oh no, bandwidth. And he's frozen. I broke his internet.
Oh no.
Jonathan, can you hear us?
Probably needs to turn off video so he has enough bandwidth for audio.
that might work.
Yeah. Try that, Jonathan. Try turning off your video, Jonathan, and then maybe we can hear you.
Caller, turn off your radio.
It was I'll read a question while you do that, Jonathan. Yeah. Does that work? Try saying something.
He probably can't hear you.
Ah, the internet.
Earlier, I only heard every other word you were saying when I had bad bandwidth, so he might be having the same issue.
Okay.
Well, remember, there's going to be a recording, so...
Yeah. Jonathan's in Trash Mania.
Yeah.
Do you know much about Trash
After dark.
Yeah, it's actually like the scariest not scary game I've played in a while. Because the music doesn't make you think it's going to be scary, but then there's this crazy monster trying to eat you while you're collecting garbage in the park at night. So like I would give it a try. I'll let him get into more details about actually developing it because I don't know that story. But I was just playing it and my palms were sweating, and it's like I wasn't expecting it. So it was a pretty awesome surprise to get that sensation. So
Cool.
Tesla
But
agrees.
That's funny. Funny/scary. Just did some research. This Ian's downloading Contra 2. My game was going to be a 2D scroller anyway, so this is perfect. Yay! Results from OUYA Office Hours. Live. Sky has a question about social. What are social features going to be integrated or a dedicated online service for devs to use? That's a great question. The future.
So right now it's definitely on our pipeline. The list of things to do right now. Our two big focuses are the developer support initiatives. So this and fleshing out tutorials and the dev portal, all to make just developing and getting your game on OUYA easier to use, and then also the server, fixing some issues that happen when you very quickly build a functional digital distribution service. So getting that stable, and some of you guys have been encountering issues submitting your games to the portal and are familiar with this. And if you have any in the immediate future, you can always email officehours@ouya.tv to get resolution. So those things are probably going to take us, let's see, we're in mid-June, so I think to the end of July, if not the end of August, before we move on to the next priorities, and we're always evolving them. So it's good to hear that it's requested, and we'll keep you posted.
Right. And in the meantime, you can still use the Facebook plugins and that kind of thing. And we're not stopping you from using any social features, so you can just implement it on your end until we have those on the server and part of the ODK.
Awesome. That's what Jonathan's working on.
Jonathan, is it
thinking?
Can you?
How about now?
Is it working?
Is it working?
Yeah.
You still might want to shut off video because it's still a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Let me do that real quick. Alrighty. Am
So
I sounding much better now?
Ooh, yeah, that's nice.
Okay.
Alex would
Alright.
say a little bit for you, but go ahead and tell us about it.
All right. Tell us about.
Crash Mania.
All right. Well, first off, I'm sorry. I'm just having so many problems with my computer and the internet connection, and the router went down. Just a million things went against me trying to get me on here. But anyways, Trash Mania After Dark. It is the third game in the Trash Mania series. The previous two were Atari 2600 homebrew games. This new one is it's sort of loosely inspired by those older ones. Can y'all still? I think I lost y'all again.
It's working now.
Okay. I'm not sure how much of what y'all missed, but I'm guessing there's a brief introduction.
Yeah. So we got some into the third installment, and it's coming out on OUYA. Alex talked a bit about how it is. What did you build it in?
Unity. Yeah, it's nothing too fancy.
And then we launched it? It's out.
Yeah, it's out. Yeah.
It's out. It's live.
Yeah, it's out now. I'm still developing it, and there's a few more levels that I'm adding, and it's I'm going quite off an interesting path with these new levels. It's
Cool.
something very different. So don't tempt me.
I'll ask one more question, and hopefully it will bandwidth it correctly. But so what was your inspiration for collecting trash and running from scary monsters?
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Oh, no.
I caught the last two, but I'm sorry. I caught the last two words.
How do you come up with the idea? Because it's relatively, obscure and slightly weird.
The idea for it, the ideas for it come from all different places. Originally, it was sort of just, but the first game it was just controlling a little sprite character, dodging a red block, and it sort of evolved from that idea for this new one. Like, I don't want to just be a block. I want it to be something a little interesting. That model was actually originally created when I had a different game in mind with a top-down view, and that model just happened to work for this first-person perspective. So, and it just worked. I just got lucky with it. It worked well with the kind of the darkness thing, and yeah.
Cool, man.
Not sure what's causing all these issues I'm having. It's just
It's 100% free, right?
yes, it is 100% free. I thought about charging for it, but I don't know. I feel weird kind of splitting it up because I did that with a previous game, Wrecking Balls Arena, where I split it up. Part of it was paid and a small part of it was free, but not a lot of people bought it. I mean, for one reason or another, and just that first level, most people only saw that. They didn't see the other levels that I made for it, so I just kind of, I don't know. I feel kind of weird, kind of splitting it in half, for the people who, buy it and don't.
For Wrecking Balls, isn't it making the way to Wii U, if not already, or maybe I'm?
I did have plans for that initially, as well as adding a few other levels and stuff. I guess just maybe after developing Trash Mania, I've almost kind of looked back negatively on Wrecking Balls almost. Almost just like, I kind of look back at all the mistakes I made for it, and I thought about trying to fix some of it, like almost making it a sort of a different game, but I feel like it's just almost too much effort for it, and I'm thinking about bringing Trash Mania to the Wii U. The Wii U stuff is still a bit shaky right now. I'm still able to make games for it. I just need to purchase the development kit and everything, and there's still a few things with that going on. So, but.
Luckily, the OUYA development kit is free.
Yes, it is. Well,
nailed it. Scott is asking about a game OUYA is developing soon, and this is going to become a trend.
Yes.
So this is an important thing for us to say here. We answered it in the beginning OUYA forum thread, but it's basically Alex and I are working on a video series, not specifically a game, but it's a video series, and we're working with. We're working on a game for the point of showing people how easy it is. If you want to garnish that steak.
Yeah, so we have grand plans over the long term, but first of all, we're just going to basically kind of do a walkthrough of the submission process and just getting your game up and running on OUYA, and just so people can see that it's not a big hurdle. It's a small hurdle, and then we'll see after that if Bob and I can actually learn anything useful in terms of making our own game, and just kind of do it from a very noob-centric angle, because neither of us are programmers, and so yeah, it would be entertaining at the least, I think.
Yeah.
If not educational. So.
Yeah, it's sort of an illustrative experience of total noobs clunking around with things and getting it onto a TV in order to show how easy it is to do, basically.
Yeah.
So, hope that answers your question, Scott. Ian has an idea. Is it possible for OUYA games to use the USB port for external accessories, like making a custom power glove type thing? Sure, especially if you're Tim Groutman. These are things you can just do.
Yeah. I haven't played around too much with Arduino or Raspberry Pi yet, but I've had a similar thought where I was looking at this Kickstarter vest thing, right? It integrates with your game and it vibrates so you can feel the impact of bullets and stuff. And I was thinking I could make the same thing for about $40 with just a Raspberry Pi, which is $25, and then the little vibration little things are like $3 each. And you just Velcro those on your shirt, and then use the API, and every time you take damage, you set those things off. So
I think it would.
I'll tell you more when I play around with it.
Awesome.
I think that would work like a trash media when you die.
Tim, did you get Guitar Hero controllers working on the OUYA at one point or something?
Yeah, that was the Rock Band controllers. Although they work like a regular controller. There's a button event for all the different frets that you can detect just like a regular controller. And then I was working with the Rock Band piano, which is more like a real piano, and trying to reverse engineer how they did all those bit masks and stuff. And that's about where I stopped. But all that stuff is detected, and you can interact with it the same way you do any other controller. There's motion events and key events that you can detect, and but that's probably because they've already got drivers on those things, and if you're making custom gloves, you're going to have to make your own driver.
So if that's a specific, will the company make hardware thing? The answer is probably not. But you can, especially if you're Tim Grubman, and you're going to make a shirt that punches you. And then we stepped on James's joke that he's going to put it on Trash Mania. So now you have to do it, James. Or Jonathan, I'm sorry. Oh, I hate doing that.
Yeah.
I do it on the internet, Bob.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, Jonathan. But yeah, now you're going to do it.
Yeah, instead of being a shirt, though, it's Velcro patches, so it's not awkward to put on or
Well, don't you have to stick the other... Oh, you put that on a shirt.
Yeah, you just have like 5 leads that come out of a little board, and you patch them on wherever you want. And
You're right. That's not awkward at all, Tim. Not at all.
Okay.
Or you can make shirt puncher or shirt of awesome. It'd be great.
There you go.
Sure. Shirt puncher would be a rad game.
See, you have two people, like, it's a network game, right? So, like, they wear a shirt, you wear a shirt, and then you punch them, and then they feel it on their other OUYA. So we could totally do that. Also, like, slap. It'll be this game called Slap. You put a sensor on your face, and then you can slap them.
Play that game.
What about Hug?
There you go. Yeah. Those.
Hug simulator. Feel feelings. I have a question for Alex.
Oh no.
What's the average response time from you guys? It's basically because I sent an email to Bob, oh no, like a week ago, and I want to know if it's reason that it fell into spam or something. No, it didn't.
Last week was E3,
yeah,
so that kind of blew everything up.
That's the excuse I'm using. I'm sorry. God, I thought that was just going to be like a submission response time. I'll email you right after this. I have to dig out. So today's Monday, and I'm just going to dig out of my inbox from last week, which was a lot of preparatory.
I try and keep my inbox well organized.
Yours is really nice.
And nicely read.
I'm taking it.
After 2 weeks, it is not a bad thing to reping any one of us.
Yeah, I actually was having, let me double check to make sure, I was having an issue with an aggressive spam filter the other day, and she's going to be mad that I don't remember who it is. Oh, Maldita Castilla, who did that?
Oh, I forget.
Crap. Loco Molito,
Yes.
all his emails were going into my spam, so that was actually not my fault, and we figured that out.
I mean, it's...
Well, so it kind of was my fault. But, okay, I see your email right here, Elias, and I will get at you as soon as humanly possible, which will be today. Quote me on that, internet. Can Rumble support be integrated into a person's games using the API for controllers that support it? Tim?
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, if they have a jar that causes the Rumble to work, then totally.
Okay, cool. Couple more questions. Then we can squeeze in a rapid-fire food game. When are we going to see networking? There are many options out there, but something that we supported would be great. I think that's sort of an addendum to Kelly's answer.
Yeah.
Which is...
Yeah, I think both this and the next question, are like they're on the list.
Yeah.
But right now we have other priorities that'll take us to the end of the summer for sure, and then we'll be revisiting the list at that point.
This may have been asked before. Oh, sorry, were you saying something, Tim?
Oh, in the meantime, again, you can use the third-party plugins. Like Parse is a good one, and I know that works because we tested it last weekend. So.
Can we link to that?
Yep.
Sweet. This may have been asked before, but will there ever be an achievement? Yeah. So the same thing. Will there be an achievement system implemented in the OUYA? Also, leaderboards. Same answer, which is after the summer, we are looking at this list of things. So absolutely, we would do it tomorrow if it were possible.
Yeah. Leaderboard support is something some games do on their end as well. So that's something you can totally support. But yeah, we don't have one for like an OUYA account.
That's true. Could you use some? Do you have a recommendation for something like that? Would it be the same thing, Tim?
Yeah. Parse for achievements would be great.
Parse.
There's also a photon. There's a lot of different solutions.
Cool. So we're wrapping up. We're actually 10 minutes over. This has been a really productive and awesome Dev Support office hours. We can go really fast to the food game. I know that Alex probably did something last /week. Ready? Who ate the best food? Ready, set, go.
Homemade chili, vegetarian, plus then I added my own ground beef to it, plus homemade cornbread, and some wine, because you know they go together.
It's a good pairing.
Always.
James, this is your first food game, so I hope you get the rules, but basically say the best thing you ate in the last week.
Oh God, I don't know. Paella, maybe.
Ooh.
I mean, I've got 3 kids, and that some of them, well, one of them in particular is quite fussy, so our food's not necessarily particularly exciting because we have to kind of like cater for the lowest common denominator.
Sure.
So paella is probably the most exciting thing I've had this week.
That's an exciting one. Jared Yeager.
Well, I was going to say I've had many great things, but I will say the best meal was sharing one with my content team, brothers and sister in downtown Los Angeles, even though we waited an hour for food. I very much appreciated the stuffed mushroom caps and the fine glass of Malbec that I shared with all of you.
No, the stuffed mushroom caps were mine.
But we all
Those
shared
are
it.
so
It's a group win.
I could have eaten like 20 of those. Yeah, so they were stuffed mushrooms with blue cheese and walnut.
Oh my God. I was there.
Having flashbacks.
Still wows me to think about. Jonathan, what was the coolest thing you ate this last week?
Absolutely nothing. It's the same thing I've always had because here, let me do the video thing. Since I just started my job recently, actually, I've not had much. I've just a lot of fast food stuff because like I'm just too lazy to fix lunch for me. Probably the most interesting thing, I don't know. I had tacos at this one Mexican place, but that was about it. I'm also just a picky
eater. That's fair.
Eater in general. Like I can get tired of it, so.
Fair enough. JJ, sitting in for Matt Floggin. JJ, go. You're it, man. This is it.
I had homemade beef stew from our roommate. It was really good. Other than that, some exciting sandwiches from the media lounge at E3.
Exciting. Mr. Tim Grauman.
All right, this stuff is great.
Better than a cinnamon stick.
Awesome.
It's Campbell's chunky sausage chicken gumbo. It's good stuff.
I guarantee that's not chicken.
It doesn't matter. It's so good. 1 in 10 cans comes with grass.
So today's Dev Support Office Hours was brought to you by Campbell's Chunky Chip.
Did you answer?
That's not me.
No, did you answer?
Oh, I didn't.
Food thing?
No, I think that my answer would probably be Jared's answer. So
Okay.
I think the 3 of us cancel each other out, and then I'm giving the win to you for homemade chili and cornbread. So that's this week's winner is Alex. Congratulations. Asking the next. Start your week off right. The next office hours to answer Ian's perfectly timed question. That's brilliant that you ask. Is every Monday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. So we'll be here next week to talk about OUYA games and OUYA stuff on top of OUYA devs. So good talk, everybody.
Yay.
Bye.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Bye. Tim, JJ, Kelly,
Okay.
Jonathan,
no.
Jared.
Brought to you by Soup Mania After Dark.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hopefully.